Out of all the life forms I have created over the eons of my existence, I have never seen a creature more diabolical than thee. To think I could create by sheer accident a being that I myself fear. Teach me thy ways, Dark One. Giddy, would you move out of the way? I'm trying to talk to the Dark One here. Now, speak. Oh, merely thy war cry sends shivers down my spine. No doubt thou art worthy of a seat among the pantheon of Poké-Gods. It's no secret that the Pokemon series has dragged its heels in the ground when it comes to breaking away from its game design, refusing to even consider an open world and free camera until 2019. However, ever since the series jumped into console gaming, aka the Switch, Game Freak has made small yet consistent steps towards making the main series more modern, or in other words, including current gaming trends for RPGs. You could almost say they've been experimenting ever since Pokemon Let's Go. That progression hasn't been without some growing pains, most notably the controversial Dexit that still causes fans to lash out at each other. Yet with Game Freak's seemingly most ambitious title yet in Pokemon Legends Arceus, Pokemon is closer than it ever has to becoming modern in terms of game design. Don't expect Capcom Monster Hunter level of graphics anytime soon. Although we can dream, right? Of course, there are many fans, including myself, who believe something was lost when the series made the jump to 3D between Gen 5 and 6. Perhaps we all grew older and our tastes in gaming changed, and I'm sure nostalgia plays a factor in that. But the sprite work and game design before Gen 6 had a different, unique charm that I still love to this day. Granted, I never want to go through a new game with HMs or not having access to my Pokébox at all times ever again. Hooray for quality of life improvements. But the simple yet well thought out top-down design of the original generations is timeless and would be a shame to ignore completely. With the release of 2 Gen 4 remake projects, Game Freak is addressing both the modern direction of Pokemon and the retro top-down design longtime fans remember, albeit without the 2D sprites. The more modern side taking an ambitious and experimental approach to the series, and the retro game tickling that nostalgia bone with some added quality of life improvements. Could this split of the two sides, modern and retro, be the future of the Pokemon series for not just Gen 4, but future Pokemon remakes? Before I answer that question, let's talk about the Gen 4 remakes in more detail. When Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl were first revealed back in February, I'm sure most Gen 4 fans felt cheated out of their favorite gen being completely remade in a 3D environment, akin to the Gen 3 remakes. They expected a Gen 8 version of the Sinnoh region complete with modern Pokemon features and maybe some improvements here and there. I mean, even a Gen 4 disliker like myself was at least expecting a remake in that style at some point. So seeing an HD chibi hybrid design for the Gen 4 remakes was a shock, and honestly, a bit of a letdown, although throwing Legends Arceus into the remake package made the news easier to swallow. This past week, however, the Pokemon Company dropped a new trailer for both Gen 4 remake projects that left me in greater spirits than before, especially for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I may have been lukewarm on the remake before, but now, I'm excited. There's just a new layer of polish that gets me more excited to try it out. And just to be clear, it wasn't because they showed off Chibi Cynthia. It was HD Cynthia. Sipping aside, there's a lot to love in this polished trailer. Colors are more vibrant, the settings have greater detail and lighting. Sure, there's now a bloom effect going on, but the 3D models look clean, partner Pokemon return, newly designed Pokemon contests, and confirmation that the Creation Trio will return in some capacity. Whether that confirms Platinum content will be back remains to be seen. With all these improvements, I'm really looking forward to my return to Sinnoh. Of these additions, the Pokemon Super Contest was the thing that grabbed my attention the most, at least gameplay-wise. Revamping the contest format to add a bit of rhythm is perfect to make this side content feel less static and more interactive. My Bidoof steal the show. Eat your heart out, Baneri. I also love the addition of outfits. It's a minor change, but some of these designs look so good. I don't know which gender to choose. Usually the girls have the better clothes. And don't get me wrong, Dawn has some style and outfits to choose from, but let's not forget the boy character who I can't remember his name right now. Oh my gosh, what is his name? Lucas? He's got some good outfits too, so let's not underestimate him. Anywho, I wasn't a huge fan of the underground in the original game, mostly because the tunnels were just so boring. But with the additions made in the remake, I'm actually looking forward to exploring it. Sure, there's still plenty of boring dirt everywhere, so that's gonna be a little annoying. But finding those Pokemon dens and using your secret base to influence which monsters will appear adds a little more excitement. Plus, Gen 4's story is certainly not bad, especially if they follow the Platinum storyline. It's certainly better than recent gens, throwing some shade there. But I'm looking forward to seeing if the narrative holds up 15 years later. Also, Team Galactic's outfits are fire, no cap! Of course, if this chibi style still hurts your eyes despite these improvements, then I guess Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl will be a pass for you, which is fair. Don't spend your money on something you won't enjoy. But this still isn't the Gen 4 remake that I dreamed and memed about for years! This isn't fair to Gen 4 fans. Hey, it's gonna be okay. Sure, the Gen 4 remakes aren't what you expected. It's not a current generation version of the Sinnoh region. But at the same time, you get both the original Gen 4 adventure you remember, plus an open world version of the Sinnoh region in Legends Arceus. It's like a two-part celebration of Gen 4. Gen 3? They can't say that. But if you still can't accept what Game Freak is doing with Gen 4, I guess all I can say is, get over it! It's just a video game. Don't buy it and move on with your life. Whew, I'd be a great therapist. Moving on to Legends, if you go back to my initial reaction video, I was pretty optimistic. You might even say impressed with the ambitiousness of Legends. But I did point out a few of my worries. Terrible frame rate, poor resolution, empty world, only one village, etc., etc. It definitely looked like a proof of concept, or at most a work in progress. In this new trailer, however, only one of my worries was addressed. Although, to be fair, improving the frame rate and, to an extent, resolution was a must for this game to have any sort of success. The 5 frames per second just didn't look great. So at least that's an improvement. But the world does still look empty and lacking in great detail, at least compared to other more open games on the Switch, like Breath of the Wild, Xenoblade, and Monster Hunter Rise. That all said, I am even more excited for this adventure than I was 6 months ago, even if the world does feel a little empty. Now that the game seems to be operating more smoothly, I think a January 2022 release is much more feasible, and I'm less worried that this will be a dumpster fire, at least by my standards. The part of the game I'm most excited for is, for sure, the exploration and finding the Pokemon hidden in every nook and cranny. Freely exploring an open world with different topography is something Pokemon fans have been dreaming about for years. Even if the controls turn out to be basic, finding a species of Pokemon behind a waterfall or up a mountain will surely be breathtaking. Plus, with the introduction of some new variations and evolutions, there will be at least some new exciting things to discover. Of the 4 revealed so far, the new Growlithe and Basculegion are definitely my favorites. Hisuian Growlithe is just so fluffy now. It's a crime not to ruffle up its fur. But more so than that, I'm really hyped for its evolution. Hisuian Arcanine, I really don't know how to pronounce it, could end up looking similar to a Japanese lion dog statue, especially with Hisuian Growlithe's Fire Rock typing. All I'm saying is they better nail that design or so help me. As for Basculegion, Game Freak took one of the blandest designs in the game and gave it one of the coolest evolutions. Well played. And it's not even just the design. Its description is metal to the bone. Possessed by the souls of other Basculin from its school that could not withstand the harsh journey upstream. Brutal. Another win for Pokédex descriptions. And that's just the new Pokemon we know so far. I'm sure there's more Game Freak will add now that they've revealed at least 4, although I wouldn't expect a ton. You know what else you shouldn't expect a ton of? Story. While the possibility is most certainly there, I'm not trusting Game Freak to include a worthwhile story beyond beginning tutorial stuff and in-game fight with Arceus. Let them tackle this open world gameplay first. That's gonna be more important. Still, it's an enticing premise, creating a region's first ever Pokédex. The old Jubilee City looks much more inhabited and packed with buildings than it did before, meaning the reveal trailer. Thank goodness. The members of the Galaxy team seem like a charismatic group, and the marketing does promise more familiar faces to appear on your journey. Cynthia! So maybe there'll be more to see on our journey than just wild Pokemon. Although there does seem to be an emphasis on this tree here, implying some sort of story relevance. Perhaps you have to explore a certain landmark in each area in Hisui, and there is story significance related to that. The trailer implies new boss Pokemon are the reason behind it, but maybe some legendary Pokemon will play a factor. Another potential thread is the main character counterpart, Rei or Akari. The website says they work with you as fellow Survey Corps members. So does your gender swap do anything besides cheer you on, or do they act as a rival in some way? Perhaps they try to compete with you as you both explore Hisui, obviously failing to match your pace. Or maybe, just maybe, they will challenge you to the first ever Pokemon battle, which kind of makes you question their moral character if they are the ones to create this sport of beating up Pokemon. How's the Pokedex coming, Akari? Have you safely secured them all? There's gotta be a better way to say that. Ooh, I just had a great idea for a game we could play with our new friends. You know how we use our Pokemon to weaken wild Pokemon? Well, what if we command our Pokemon to attack each other in one-on-one battles? The first to lose 6 Pokemon is the loser. It'll be a great way to test our skills as Survey Corps members. Isn't that just cockfighting? What? No, that's illegal. This is totally different. By the way, the loser pays the winner 20% of what's in their wallet. Oh, you're going down, Sunshine. I'm just still slightly worried the overworld could get boring. Besides Pokemon, there's hardly anything around to interact with on your journey. No trainers or towns besides what you find in Jubilee City. To be fair, we do see ruins and other landmarks, which I suppose could be fun to discover, but no other towns or settlements from what I can tell. You can't really interact with a column, now can you? I understand they're going for a hub area like in Monster Hunter, which works for a game centered on hunting gigantic monsters, but will it work for a game centered on exploration? Maybe. I'm just worried the world could get boring without more towns to explore, or more people to talk to. Thankfully, the land of Hisui is separated into different biodomes, offering a new scenery as you explore each area. Based on this stylized map, it looks like there might be 5 separate environments across the island, enough to make each area unique. It'll be fun taking a quest to step into these areas and see all the new Pokemon living in the environment. Granted, I'm not expecting a grand narrative with plot twists or character development. Actually, I'm 80% positive it'll be basic as Gen 6 and 8. Prove me wrong, Game Freak! Prove me wrong. In the end, perfecting the gameplay is more important for this type of project. So what do these Gen 4 remakes mean for the future of Pokemon? Well, if both of these titles turn out to be successes and received well, critically speaking, then I wouldn't be surprised if we see these styles of games appear in subsequent generations. Elements of Legends open-world exploration will without doubt appear in Gen 9. I see Legends as an experimentation for a completely open Pokemon game so that Game Freak can play around with that concept and use it in the next generation. An experimentation we first saw in Gen 8 with the Wild area and the subsequent DLC. While the combat may be left alone, I have no doubt we will see some gameplay elements of Legends in Gen 9. No camera-restricted routes, free exploration, expressive Pokemon, boss Pokemon, and more button commands for the player character are just a few gameplay and design elements in Legends that I think we'll see again. As for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I could see future remakes following this chibi style, allowing for Game Freak to focus on bigger projects. So, as much as I would love to see Gen 5 completely remade with an open world and 3D environment, it makes more sense to do another HD chibi version of Black and White, especially if Gen 4 does well, which I'm sure it will. It would also be cool to see Game Freak take on another Legends project, this time in Unova. Could you imagine a Wild West or even Pioneer theme for that? Pokemon Legends, Oregon Trail. Perfect. Of course, it's not guaranteed we'll see another Legends project after this. Gen 5 may only get the chibi remake for all we know. That would make me very sad. But I guess we'll see. However, I don't expect to see Gen 5 remakes for another 5 or 6 years. The Pokemon Company probably doesn't want to rush into doing these remakes, thus quickly running out of source material. I mean, what do you do when you hit Gen 6? Follow the Zelda route of HD remaster? I don't know. Anyway, Gen 5 remake probably won't happen for a while. so Game Freak might go back to previous gens like Gen 2 and 3 and give them an HD chibi version like Gen 4. They let the developers of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, ILCA, handle these chibi makes, and then the main team develops the more ambitious titles. Or they go back to the Let's Go series. Please no. Of course, I can't say for sure this two-team approach will be the way of the future. Game Freak seems to do whatever they want, as long as they release a game or DLC every year. Remember how people were convinced Let's Go Johto was next? Don't hear about that anymore, do you? Although, after Legends, it's definitely a possibility. But I think this approach could do wonders for Pokemon's yearly release cycle, while still keeping the comparatively small development team at Game Freak. By giving the chibi makes to another developer, Game Freak has more time to create the bigger projects while still releasing a game annually. I can't see the future nor effectively predict what the Pokemon Company will do next, but it's exciting to see the Pokemon series now take steps forward while also addressing its past. I have no idea if either Gen 4 remake will be a critical success or not, but at least it's an ambitious shot in the dark for a company that has long refused to adapt and let go of its roots. As thou canst see, there are a plethora of Pokegods that reside with me on Mount Coronet, each with their own role to play. Diggy controls the concept of time. Palki rules over the spatial dimension. Thou hast already met the Lord of Antimatter. Giri experienced a rebellious phase a few millennia back, so I had to banish him to a distorted world. But he visits home on the weekends. We also have lake gods, a dream god, nightmare god, volcano god, shrubbery god, does whatever it wants god. I'm not a bad god. That's bored. Yeah. Point is, thou canst be the god of whatever thy demonic heart desires, O Dark One. Thy wish shall be granted. Ah, what? Surely you jest! The god of creation? Why, that's me! Dost thou seek to steal the throne of Mount Coronet from me? Oh, the audacity! Thine arrogant behavior has amused me thus far, Dark One, but thou hast gone too far. If thou wish to take my spot as the god of Pokémon, thou must vanquish me first! Later. Finally, I've made it to the top of Mount Coronet. Once I catch the god of Pokémon, my long journey will be complete. You dare defy me, the almighty god of Pokémon, otherwise known as Arceus. Why is there a Bidoof on your back? Foolish human! Do not mock the Dark One. It may very well be the last thing you do. Oh, okay. Help me. Thank you so much for watching. What are your thoughts on the Gen 4 remakes? Excited? Worried? Indifferent? Let me know in the comments below. My next video will be a constructive look at Skyward Sword, so please look forward to that. Thank you for all your support and willingness to watch a nerdy channel like mine. It means a lot to me. I know I'm not the most consistent, but I want to try and get more content out to you. That also means I might have to change my current image. Face reveal soon!